college admission secrets.
Coach Tony here. Welcome to our UC Admission Secrets free weekly training. I'm your host, Coach Tony, former UC Berkeley admissions reader. We've been helping families with our programs for the past 14, 15 years now. So today's training topic is the must-have high school courses for your child's schedule. First off is the A through G requirements. So again, with these classes, right, keep in mind that the must-have classes, this is the UC admissions group. So the classes that you need to be eligible to apply to the UC campuses is what we call the A through G requirements, right? So these are 15-year-long high school classes that you need to get a C or better in. Keep in mind, part of that requirement is 11 of these classes must be completed prior to 12th grade. So if you are a junior right now, you gotta make sure 11 by the end of this year, not summer, but end this year, by May, June, depending on when you're in school, 11 years of these classes should be done. If not, we got to figure something out. Keep in mind that you can fulfill majority of these requirements or via classes, which we'll talk about today for today's training, but you can also score a certain score in certain exams that can exempt you from taking the class itself and it fulfills the same requirement there. Keeping in mind, right? This is something I always want to this disclaimer a little bit. There's requirements for high school graduation and there's requirements for UC eligibility. They may be the same. They also may be different. So keep that in mind. Is anyone here in California? For you all, your child's going to take health and PE. That's a California requirement, right? Graduation requirement, you need health and PE. For most colleges, health and PE goes nowhere on the application, right? So keep that in mind. And that's one of those nuances of like, in terms of California, they require certain things as part of the high school graduation. When it comes to college admissions, though, probably not the same impact there. Okay, so sometimes keep in the back of your head for that piece as well. So as a quick little recap, quick little summary, all right, if you just came here for the information and you bounce, this is the quick TLDR. 15 years of courses. Category A is history, 2 years. Category B is English, 4 years. Math is 3 years required, 4 years recommended. D is science, 2 years required, 3 years recommended. E is language other than English, 2 years required, 3 years recommended. And then visual performing arts, 1 year required. College-Prepatory elective, 1 year required. I'm going to break each of these down really quick because there's a few things I think a lot of people still get confused on. I jump on a bunch of calls with parents all the time. Literally my whole day is talking to parents and talking to students. I think even with this, a lot of people get very confused about what does that mean? And hey, do I need extra years of this or extra years of that for whatever reason? My goal is to break it down for you guys today, okay? Going back, before we dive into the requirements, keep in mind that when it comes to the academic sections, we're not going to talk about today, but we have tons of training videos. But keep in mind, A through G is just one factor. Is it the most important factor? No. The two most important factors we care about is going to be academic rigor and grade trends over anything else. Those are the two most absolute factors. One of the things that keep coming up, do not make decisions based on GPA. A lot of people are saying, oh, I want to make this because it's going to affect my child's GPA this way or that way as well too, right? GPA is one of those words, a lot of people have been here before, so a lot of returners, you guys know that that's not a word I talk about. GPA is not in my vocabulary. We don't talk about GPAs because at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. Instead, again, I rather look at your rigor and your grade trends. Again, calculus your GPA, but the GPA itself tells me nothing. But breaking it out like one of those fancy meals, a deconstructed meal, the deconstructed part of it, the grades and the classes, that tells me way more about the student. So I rather make sure those are good. Again, the GPA is going to be a byproduct of what those are. Don't stress out too much. Do not make decisions based on GPA. That's like the absolute ask for everyone. You're going to go down a really bad road and you're going to be mad at yourself in the future. Keep in mind, anytime we work with students, we talk about anything, it's always going to be rigor or grade trends, and talking about that combination, never about GPA, okay? Now, going back, category A, right, is history. So for this, you need 2 years of history. So again, I'm going to use a little bit of audience participation since you guys are here. You're going to help me out and I'm going to review with you the information as well too. So one, you need 1 year of world history. Let me know if your child has taken either world history honors, AP world history. I think those are the main combinations of them. Yeah, I think those are the main combinations I've seen of history there. Then you also need 1 year of US history or half a year US history, half a year of government. Keep in mind though, going back to the general thing though, rigor is important. So you do want to max out when you can, given the context of what you can as well. But today we're just talking about the classes you need. The classes you need first. Once you have that as a benchmark, then we'll talk about like going a little deeper and figuring out, hey, what specific classes? Because of course, what beats the regular U.S. history? The honors U.S. history. What beats the honors U.S. history? The AP level U.S. history as well. And you do want to have as high as you can there. There's another way to fill the requirement. So again, you could either take the class, or if you're a strong test taker, right? So if anyone here is a strong test taker, you could test out of a lot of these requirements, right? So I wrote down, and then here, I'm not gonna go, it's a lot, you see a lot of pages, 30 pages. It's very technical, but keep in mind, again, there's various ways. Like for example, here, to fulfill your US history requirement, you need a score of 3, 4, or 5 on the APUSH test. Or if you're doing the IB curriculum, anyone here doing the IB, like your school's in the IB school, International Baccalaureate School. And some of you have like, what in the world is an IB? That's a big word. Keep in mind, most schools don't offer IB. Okay, we have a few. Perfect, cool. So the few that are here, you have the option to take the IB courses. If you took the IB History of America's honors exam, you get a 5, 6, or 7. That's the equivalent of getting the same credit for US history as well too. And you'll see like, man, there's various requirements to get certain things done. And there's also a college requirement. You guys know me, I'm big on dual enrollment. I love dual enrollment. Keep that in the back of your head, because that may or may not relate to the freebie we're going to give out later today. For those who are new, dual enrollment is one of the strategies I love to use to demonstrate rigor for the student. So think about it this way. So with dual enrollment itself, so go break it down. AP classes. What are AP classes, or even IB classes? And AP, IB classes, you take a class. For AP classes, 1 year. IB is a 2-year course. So we're taking these classes, they're hard. They're rigorous in nature. Their goal is to make this class as rigorous as a college level course. That's kind of their aim for that. As a result, you'll see your kids probably stress out the most over these classes, have the most homework, the most work, the most prep for these classes specifically. You take it. The reason why you take it, rigor. You want to demonstrate the rigor there. But at the end of the year, though, in May specific, in the month of May, they will be taking their AP test or the IB test for these classes, right? Basically, you'll see the APs out of 5.5 points, the IBs out of 7 points. So depending on their score, you see on the doc I had earlier, a score of 3, 4, or 5 means you get the credit for it. That means 3 is passing for the AB exams. That could fulfill the requirements. That's essentially what it is. What these 3, 4, 5s really mean, though, is that this is asking you, will you be able to get college credit for these as well? That's the whole purpose of the AP and the IB exam. Because again, for those who don't know, in high school, you're taking like your A to G, the general education classes. When you go to college, right, you go to a 4-year school, public or private, Cal State, UCs, private, Ivies, anywhere you go, your first 2 years at that school, you're going to redo everything you learned in high school. You're taking math again, history again, English again, science again, all these classes, the first 2 years, those are your general education classes. Once you finish your gen ed, your GEs, then you will go work on your prerequisites for your majors. Then you spend the last 2 years by then just focusing on your majors and taking the classes for that then. But your first 2 years, you end up just doing GE classes. However, the loophole, if you do the AP exams, IB exams, you take the correct ones, right? You take the ones that your child takes and you pass it with a high enough score, then they will be exempt from taking those classes their first, second year, which means you can save them a semester up to a year of credits when they go to college, so they can jump faster into their major classes. So that's the practical benefits of doing well in the AP exams. Dual enrollment, though. This is a whole setup for just dual enrollment. So what is dual enrollment? So as a high school student, you can take college classes at a local community college. You can go 4 years well too, but I'm going to focus on talking about community colleges for today. With community college, you can take certain classes that will guaranteed to be transferable. And that's the big key here, because again, if you go, let's say you take the AP whatever class, right? AP class, and you get a 2. 2 just means you didn't get the credit. It's not a bad thing. It just means you didn't get the credit for it as well too, for sure. But some schools, even if you get a 3, that might not be good enough. Sometimes schools require a 4. Sometimes schools even require a 5 on the AP test to get the college credit for it. Versus if you dual enroll and you take the correct class and it's transferable, guaranteed college credit, as long as you pass the class A, B, or C in the college class, you're going to guarantee yourself that college credit. itself. So for me, the reason why I really like dual enrollment is that with dual enrollment, it's not a full year like the AP or 2 years like the IB. It's one semester. It's half a year. With these classes, it's not going to be as difficult because with the IB and the AP classes, they're trying to prep you to do really well on the exam. For college, these are the actual teachers, and we can pick your teachers. And at the last piece, with AP and IBs, you have to test to get that college credit, may or may not get it. With college, as long as you take the right ones, guaranteed college credit, right? So college credits, dual enrollment essentially is a really cool, awesome opportunity for students to do. There is ways for you to take a college class to fulfill these A through G requirements as well too. So for example, college classes for US history, you can fulfill this by getting a C or better in a transferable course in US history there. Okay, so that's going to be that format here, and you'll see tons of other options there. Category B is English. This is an easy one. 4 years, which means as long as you're in high school, go take an English class. So it could be any single type of English class. Usually people like an English 9, 10, 11, 12. Some people like to move on to the AP series, right? So which is like usually 11, 12th grade, AP Lang, AP Lit, AP English Lang, AP English Lit. As long as you're taking class English every single year, equaling 4 years, you are good to go. Other ways to fulfill the requirements. There are other ways to fulfill those 4 years. So if you go take the ACT and get a 24, that fulfills the first 3 years. You're like, whoa, Coach Tony, I thought the UCs don't take the ACT. They don't look at it. I have not met a student who didn't take any English classes after high school, but hypothetically, you didn't take any English classes after high school as well too. What you would do is you'd apply and it'd be admission by exception because technically you didn't meet the requirements. So they'll accept you, understand that you are submitting this score at the end. So they're going to go ahead and verify these scores just for the purpose of the English requirement, not really for the ACT score itself. Okay, so the 24 fulfills 3 years, 30 is the 4 year. You have the same thing with the SAT. Ooh, I gotta fix this. Is that? Oh yeah, that's the subsection score. The AP IB exam, if you pass the AP IB exam, you're good to go there. Or English college classes, typically the English 101, 102s, 103s, the 1As, 1Bs, all that goes here, there. Okay. C, this is the area that causes the most confusion for most families. So everyone listen up. So it's 3 years required, 4 years recommended. This is our first recommended year. So something to keep in mind about recommended. You're in this group, which means you're not normal. You're not average. You're definitely above average, or at least you're hoping your child's gonna be above average. For those parents who keep it real, you're hoping your kid's a little above average. For us, we say treat recommended as required. Usually, if you're in this group, you're probably aiming for the bigger schools, the UC Berkeley's, the UCLA's, the bigger UCs. And also, again, while this is a UC group, our coaching students apply to a lot of other schools too, Stanford's, Ivy's, and all that, just because, again, if you're aiming for UCLA, you're probably aiming for those other schools too. Little fun fact, they all do the same things in terms of admissions, right? That's how we're able to help students get into all different types of schools there. But keeping in mind when it comes to the recommended, definitely treat it as required. So again, I'm just letting you guys know, if you're in this group, I'm gonna low-key expect you all to do the 4 years of math recommended. But keep a few things to keep in mind. Thing number one, this is one of the first subjects where they allow you to use a 7th or 8th grade class. So it could be like Algebra 1, it could be Algebra 2, could be geometry. For those of you in Common Core, the integrated math 1, integrated math 2, math 3. Anyone, their child took a class in middle school. Then in high school, you can jump into the next level there. Here's why this works. And we'll skip ahead. No, we'll skip ahead. There'll be another section that allows it. Only 2 sections, math and one other section that allows it. The reason why these are the only 2 sections that use a concept called validation. What validation means is that if you take a higher level class, it's going to validate the previous class, even if you lied and you didn't take it. Let's say you lied and say, I took Algebra 1 in 8th grade, but you didn't. You didn't do it. Your KAISO council did not do their due diligence, and they didn't check that either. So in high school, you took Algebra 2. You jumped to Algebra 2 because then you skipped Algebra 1. Algebra 2, from the UC like validation lens, Algebra 2 validates Algebra 1. What that means is that by you passing the first semester of Algebra 2, you automatically got full credit for Algebra 1. That's how math works. So let's say that's why we tell students, hey, feel free to skip. You can skip certain math and jump a little higher, because once you pass that first semester, every math class under that, you get automatic validation for it. Meaning, hypothetically, again, don't do this, but hypothetically, if you jump straight into calculus and you pass the first semester, A, B, or C, it validates every single math class you took before that, which means you automatically got credit for algebra 1, algebra 2, trig, and pre-calc, or vice versa. So that's why 7th or 8th grade for math works, because hypothetically, if you lied still, it's okay, because then by taking the next class up, you validate that requirement there. But the one thing you have to do is you have to take geometry. This is one of the musts of the UCs. It's a very particular must. They always like make it put in bold, is you must have geometry on your schedule in some capacity. So it has to be, if your school offers the traditional like algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, that, or if you have the integrated 1, 2, and 3, it's the integrated 2. So that's what geometry falls under. Make sure you do that. So again, the requirement is take 3 years, but here is where it gets a little fun. A lot of families told me like, hey, we took, let's say, pre-calc freshman year, and they took calc BC in sophomore year. Oh no, Coach Tony, they only have 2 years of math. What do we do for the other years? And I'm like, no. Math starts at algebra 1. One more time. Math starts at algebra 1. So if you took algebra 1 already, took it in middle school, boom, that's your first year of math. Everyone has to take geometry. So you're taking geometry in high school, take it in middle school, you took the class, boom, there's your second year of math. And those of you who took algebra 2, if you notice in California, the requirement to graduate from high school is algebra 2. This is why. Year number 3 is algebra 2. So real quick chat, has anyone here passed algebra 1, geometry, and algebra 2? Say yes in the chat. If your child has already finished those 3 already, either in 9th grade, 8th grade, 10th grade, whatever, year 12, awesome. Your kids are done. According to the requirements, they are done with math. So going that fourth year could be trig, pre-calc. Year 5 is the calc AB. Year 6 is the calc BC. For those who go higher, year 7 years of math, the multivariable calculus. Those who go past that, linear algebra, that's 8 years of math in your schedule. Those who go to differentials, that's 9 years of math. That's why, by the way, our coaching students, we push them all the way to the end. Because again, you compare your 4 years, we laugh at that because our kids have like 7, 8, 9 years of math on their schedules. That's the benefit there, okay? AP exams, you take college classes as well too to fulfill that. Science, 2 years required, 3 years recommended. Again, treat it as required. Science, 2 years required, 3 years recommended. 2 of the years has to be biochem or physics. 2 of the 3 needs to be there. You don't allow other things like earth science, space science. You can go do computer science, engineering. These classes also count as that 3rd year and beyond. Again, you can take the AP exams, IB exam, college classes, fulfill that requirement there. Language and English, this is the other one that uses validation like math. This is the other class that, for those you took Spanish 7th, 8th grade, you'll be able to push that credit over to high school. 2 years means Spanish 1 is year 1. Spanish 2 is year 2. Keep in mind, if you took Spanish 1, French 1, that's not 2 years, that's 1 year. It's how many levels up do you go? So 3 years recommended, I recommend that. So go to like Spanish 3, Latin 3, French 3, ASL 3, Vietnamese 3, Chinese 3, Mandarin 3, whatever the 3rd level is, go to that level at the minimum. If not, go past that as well. That's cool too. So high school classes, again, you can do high school classes, you can do subject tests. These might be going away though, because this was offered a long time ago. I don't think anyone here is doing the subject test there. The AP exams, you pass the AP exam, you get credit, college credit, take it to college. Little fun fact, by the way, for dual enrollment, those who do college classes, they're typically 5-unit classes, right? The conversion between college and high school classes, one college semester unit is equivalent to 3.3 high school credits. That means if you take Spanish 101, which is typically 5 units, that calculates to 16.5 high school credits, which is a year and a half of Spanish. That's why for our students who know the system, again, we need how many years? We need 2, want 3. Spanish 101, 5 units. Spanish 102, 5 units. Total 10 units. Conversion, 33 credits. Conversion, 3 years of language, boom, by taking 2 semesters of foreign language. So if you want to get, instead of 3 years, you spend 1 year completely just taking the full classes. That works as well too, friends. Next one, visual performing arts, 1 year. Look at your catalog, you'll find that. College prep elective, it could be an elective class that's approved, or it could also be additional year. So again, going back to my math example, you took algebra 1, you took geometry, you took algebra 2. Those who took pre-calc, the extra year, that can count for G now, you're done. You don't have to take any electives if you don't want to. So that's that there. How to look up A through G. So if you guys are like, hey, I'm not sure what classes count or not. Look at that, read that. pause the screen, copy that on your own. So once you go there, this is going to be the screen. Right here, you add your high school name. Once you add your high school name, go find your high school. Once you find your high school, click course list. Once you click course list, you'll see there's area A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G. And under each of these sections, you'll see, so here's area A. Under area A, you see there's classes with a star next to it and classes without stars. The classes with the stars gets you that honors +1 UC credit, that UC honors credit. Those that don't have the star do not get you the honors credit. Let me show an example of one. Check this out. English 10 honors has a star. AP Lit Lang has a star. This Get Real class has a star, which means they get you the honors 1. But you see how there's English 9 honors and English 9 ethnic studies class? There's no star. That means even though that class is recognized as an honors class at your high school might give you that extra +1 credit. The UCs will not. So keep that in the back of your head. Keep that in mind, is that if it doesn't have the star, it will not get you that +1. Again, if you guys are interested, we can talk about a UC GPA in a different training, or we probably have a training. Same thing here. Look, Algebra 2 has the word honors, but doesn't have the star, which means it won't get you that honors credit. Geometry honors won't get you honors credit. Math analysis won't get you honors credit. Only the calcs at this school. Again, every school is different. So don't assume that, hey, my school, blah, blah, blah. Your school might have a star on the Algebra 2 honors. It's dependent per school. Look up your school. You'll figure out that data there. And here's the science, for example, right? You'll see some classes, chemistry honors has a star. Biology honor does not have the star. So you guys can kind of see that and see how certain classes offer certain things or not. This is the category F for visual performing arts. And G, these are like the electives that the school offers, right? The CAF. Again, every school is different. So don't assume that this is the thing that you need. Every school is a little different there, okay? With that being said, we are launching for the very first time a trial thing that we're doing, which is like, hey, how about you try our program for 7 days? Be a student, see how a program looks like for 7 days. And if after 7 days you want to enroll, you enroll after that. www.ucadmissionssecrets.com/trial. And you can go ahead and try it out for 7 days. Again, not everyone qualifies. Seniors don't qualify. I'm sorry, no seniors. And you have to pass 2 rounds of interviews with our team. So definitely do that. And you can. I talk a lot about dual enrollment and taking, hey, what specific classes count as dual enrollments? Pop quiz, those who knows? What classes do I push specifically about dual enrollment that I say, I don't care what major you're at, don't care where you're at, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, that's a specific list. Boom. IGETCI courses, the main list I recommend all students take because these classes are transferable to all the UCs, all the Cal States, and a lot of private schools. Before that, one more time. Yeah, I just want to go ahead and try out our trial promo, 7 days. Boop, tap that. But what our team compiled this past week, we compiled every single community college in the state of California. Look at that. All of California, all the districts, all the addresses, all the phone numbers, all the websites, and all of the IGETCI direct links. So if you click on them, we have, boom, the IGETCI for, this is what, Barstow College. This is CCSF. Open here. Boom. Here's the IGETCI classes for CCSF. Boom. Foothill College. Boom, as well. The other one took forever to load. All the classes here, these classes are takeable and will get your kid college credit. We're going to give us out free. Again, one more time. Book, try us out. Boom, try out 7 days. See if it's a good fit for you guys. 3 really cool things coming to our coaching families next 3 months. This month, we're launching our AI support bot, our new AI coach. We're super pumped for that. Next month, we're launching a self-paced training curriculum. In December, we're launching our UC admissions book. So if you guys are a part of the program by then, you guys will get all the freebies included. So first question, does honors statistics count as a math senior year? Took pre-calc, but stats because of took pre-calc, but chose stats instead of calc senior. Hope that's okay. Guidance counselor say yes. I'm hoping you're not a STEM focused student. If you are a STEM focused student, like a math, engineering, science student, I would always opt to take the calc over stats. If you're not, like journalism, English, history, you definitely don't need the calc, right? And then stats makes perfect sense. Stats is a 3rd year math, like 3rd year math is how they call it. So then our advanced math, you can take it. I would always take math every year that you can in some capacity. Keep in mind, the counselor says yes, because the counselor's goal is to help you graduate from high school. The college answer is a little different though. Is this course for a middle schooler? We do have middle school students. I'm assuming you meant our coaching program. So the cool thing about our coaching program, we do lifetime access. That means if you start earlier, we take care of you all the way to senior year. A 6th grader pays the same price as a 7th grader, 8th grader, 9th grader, 10th grader, 11th grader, 12th grader. All our students pay the exact same price. So for us, the sooner you start, the more time you get in a program, but you pay the same price. So if you want to wait, you can wait, but you just pay the same price later on, which means you get less time. Again, not everyone qualifies for the trial too. So book it, fill the applications, and we'll let you know if you're good to go. Is there a limit how much you can transfer? I'm assuming you're asking for IGETCI college credits. Max 59.9 is the official number. Most students don't make it that far unless you start very early. A lot of our middle school students, we start them on IGETCI right away, as early as 9th grade as well too. So they for sure will hit the 59.9, which means when they go to their 4-year schools, they have 2 years done. Essentially, I just help their parents pay off $60,000 at the UC levels. You're welcome, parents. $60,000, boom, they're done. They got to finish 2 years. They can graduate by the time they're 20. So that's a really cool thing you take advantage of. Keep in mind, dual enrollment is usually free for high school students too. So it's free in high school, and you get 2 years in college. What a win-win. What a win-win there. Cal Stat decision is more on GPA. Oh, Cal State. Yeah, Cal State is mainly GPA. Mainly GPA academic schedule. Where do you recommend my student take linear algebra? He said junior taking BC. Awesome. Any community college, doesn't matter which one, they're all the same. Take a community college class, depending how crazy you want to go, right? Because you're taking BC as a junior, take Calc 3, multivariable summer, take a linear algebra in the fall, multivariable in the spring. That's what the 3 things are going to be. If you want to max out the full math sequence that way, which is looked favorably AP or community college. They're both rigor. Again, for me, I've been pushing dual enrollment for 15 years now. I've not changed. I even opened my own high school that is the whole model is dual enrollment. So I'm really, 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 really big against community college. And for me, it's the practical benefits. Why do you want to look good for colleges? For us, hey, what's the most strategic way to long term? Again, I'm a lot of people think so narrow of college, but I'm cool. What happens after college? There's a career. There happens after all this stuff. For me, is long-term. What's the long-term success optimization there? So for me, they're both equivalent. As a reader, they're both equivalent in terms of a rigor. They both could get you college credit. One's much easier, one's a little harder, but one's a lot easier. So for me, I'm why not take the easy way, guys? Let's do the easy way. So community college is the answer there. Hope you guys enjoyed that session. Thank you so much for tuning in to the very, very end. Next week, we'll have a really awesome call. I may or may not teach you guys about internships. That's it for me today. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.